It's going.
Oh, yeah, nah, pretty good.
Thinking we should chuck a podcast. What do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, nah, I can. Come round, let's do a thing. G'day, everyone. How you going? And today I've got Nick.
Yep.
Nick, okay.
Yep.
I won't forget that one. All right. G'day, guys. So today we are at, is this round 9?
9. Yep, we're up to round 9.
Time is going fast.
We're pumping through them.
It's not that there's a race to who can get the most amount of podcasts out.
But we're winning.
We're definitely winning.
Yeah.
So today, in this topic, we usually when we do our podcast, we do 2 or 3 in the one day.
Yeah.
This is how we're pumping through them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of have to because
Yeah.
we want to have like a weekly episode for people.
Exactly.
But I'm away every second week.
Exactly. So this is how we do it. We are very, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out, Nick.
Cram it?
No.
Are you talking about cramming it up your cram hole?
Yeah. We're productive.
We are. Yeah. We're efficient.
Efficient. We are punctual.
We are punctual. That's actually what I love about us. And why I love doing this with you is because you, like, if you say you're going to do something, you do it. And I can always rely on you. That's why I love being in a band with you. And I'm happy doing this because I know it's like you're, like, neither of us are the weak link in this. We're going to get it done.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Actually, I've actually been told that recently that when I say I'm going to do something, it's just like, you're probably going to do it, eh? Because,
yeah.
Like, for example, I think last year when I said that I'm going to do a photo shoot in New York one day, it's like, no, fucking did it. It's like, I want to do it. I did it.
Yeah.
But, no, so today, different, the last episode we spoke about, I should have learnt the word, gratuity.
Yes.
How good. I'm already learning.
Fucking nailed it. Look at you.
Just grateful that I'm learning. I'm grateful that I learned how to say a word today. Gratuity.
Mm-hmm. Which is also the word for a tip.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Because I didn't know that at first.
Yeah.
Well, what's this? Do I sign here too?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So, So in this episode, we're going to talk. We're going to dive a bit deeper and get into mental health.
Might get a little dark, this one. We'll try and keep it light. There'll be positivity in it, but yeah.
I think everything that we do, we try to push out the positive purpose.
Definitely, yeah,
So,
yeah. Because that's been a life focus, particularly for me, and part of my personal growth. But how this came about is because Are You OK Day was last month.
Yep.
Today is the 2nd of October, I believe, and the 10th of October is World Mental Health Day.
This might actually come out
just in time. Yeah.
If not, it was the other day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Either way, whenever you're hearing this.
Hey everyone, we're from the past. So yeah.
But yeah, so I just thought it'd be a bit prudent for us to talk about it now while these things are around, because a really good point came up that there's Are You OK Day, which I think is a brilliant idea, where, you know, a friend, a work colleague, whoever it may be, you stop and you go, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, whether you've noticed different behavior in them or not, it's just a nice thing. But not a lot of people know where to go when someone says, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And it can be really difficult. And I think on a personal level for us, I've always struggled with poor mental health.
Yeah.
Not to the point of ever being suicidal or anything like that, but certainly experiencing depression and anxiety to a level where I didn't function day to day.
Mm-hmm.
And I could go from being, you know, the loudest, funnest person in the room to an absolute prick like that.
Yeah.
And us being in the band together, you would have seen that and experienced it. And so it can be difficult being someone, not only somebody who's dealing with mental illness, but the people who want to be there for them to make it better.
Yeah.
So I think when you ask someone, are you okay? And you get the response, no, there's a couple of different avenues to take. Now, with me personally, I remember us having those conversations where it's like, if I'm acting like a dick, because my depression would always come out as anger a lot of the time, not sadness. It would be
Just
like
frustration.
rage. Yeah. And so I sort of gave you permission to say, hey man, you're being a bit of a dick right now.
Yeah.
And it would shame me into kind of stepping back and then being able to have an adult conversation with you about what's going on.
Yep.
That doesn't work with everyone. Like that might send someone into a spiral. So I think what can be a really effective tool is going, okay, so something's going wrong. Do you want advice or do you just want to talk about it?
Yeah.
You know? Because there's a very big difference there where some people might just need to vent and have their feelings validated and acknowledged, as opposed to somebody who's looking for someone to actually fix the problem for them.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people can feel stressed, like, because say for instance, you asked me the question, I said, no, I'm not coping, I'm not doing well. And then you feel the stress that, now I've got to be the one to fix it for him. But that's not the case, you know. I just need a sympathetic ear in this situation, you know. And that's just one perspective on it, you know. For me personally, it took years and years of wanting to be better.
Yeah.
And realizing like I'm the storm cloud in all these social situations. Everybody else is having fun and I'm the one, you know, being a prick, basically, or just not being fun, being moody, whatever it might be. So it can be a really long journey for some people, you know?
Yeah. And I think in this episode, what we're doing is trying to start acknowledging that it's like okay to talk to your friends, just ask a question, be ready for what could come, what couldn't come.
Yeah.
And how to, I guess, not divert, but let's steer it down the right road instead of the wrong road.
Yes.
Because, you could have... I think when... This is what I do. And I have been in this situation a few times when people have been sad and upset and they want to vent. And you can't just tell someone that there's something wrong with them straight away. Just being like, oh, no, don't worry about it. Like, no, it's all good. That's not true.
Yeah.
I think to get someone that is struggling, this is how I've dealt with trying to help someone, is agree with them first.
Yes.
Get that agreement with them.
Yeah.
So if they're saying like, oh, this sucks, this is happening, it's just like, yeah, that does suck. Like,
yes. Yeah.
So that way someone will feel comfortable about talking about what their issue is.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's part of the stigma of this whole thing is like, acknowledging somebody's feelings and validating it. So then they go, okay, I'm not a freak, I'm not insane. Like you can just stop and go, yeah, that's really hard. I'm sorry that you have to experience that, dude. You know, it can be such a tiny thing that is massive for that person to just not feel insane in that situation, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I was talking actually, like when we caught up with Kurtogram and Kara, I can't remember how this came up. It must have been because Are You OK Day had been recently, but there's that statement that I've kind of got this weird problem with because it's that statement of it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And I agree with it wholeheartedly in one sense, in that it's trying to break that stigma of anybody who's depressed, anxious, dealing with something, thinking, oh, I'm nuts, I'm mental, there's something wrong with me. And, you know, that by needing someone to talk to professionally, like a counselor or psychologist, that makes you a crazy person.
Yeah.
So I 100% agree with that statement in that it's breaking that stigma because everybody experiences it.
Yeah.
Like whether you're at that level of, you know, where you start to have suicidal thoughts and it's very, very severe, or just an everyday person where you get overwhelmed by the stress in your life, because that's valid too.
Yeah.
Everybody experiences these range of emotions just on different levels.
Yeah.
What's hard being someone who used to really indulge in my depressive feelings is when you hear it's okay not to be okay, having that train of thought of well, then I'm allowed to indulge in it because it's normal. And other people sort of get this sense of like, well, that's part of my personality and that's what makes me different from you, and you won't understand me. And it can get very icky and weird in those situations. So it is a brilliant statement in one hand, but I think the biggest thing to address is like having been there before and getting stuck in that low mood and staying there, because then I somehow feel validated in not belonging or being pissed off at someone or whatever it might be. That's not the right way to deal with it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That you basically kind of figured out where to go from when this starts happening.
Yeah.
So with one thing that I have, I guess, acknowledged is that you can't really tell. It's hard to tell if someone is not okay. Like that's been brought up quite a lot now, that they might be normal, especially like, not that it's a sexual thing, but it's men hide it a lot more.
Yes.
And one thing that has caught me by surprise, and now that we're getting older, I've seen it we've known a few people that have taken their lives already before 30, which is shit.
Yeah. In the last 5 years, it's unbelievable how many people I know, particularly men, who have taken their own lives.
And it's like each single one of them didn't know.
Yeah.
Didn't know, because I guess I wasn't close with the person. You don't know it, but it's important to have that close group and network that will look out for these things, look out for the signs of people being different to try and stop it. But once again, it's just that thing that sometimes you just can't tell. Usually, like even with big actors, for example, like Robin Williams, comedian.
Yes.
How would we know?
Yeah, exactly.
He's bringing all the happiness.
Yeah.
And for one thing, for me is I've been approached a few times to ask if I'm okay, because, you know, I put out that persona of being a happy person all the time. I don't really deal with depression like at all now. It's not my thing. My thing is an anxiety thing.
Yeah.
Because I always put too much pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, over time, I've learned how to deal with that. But growing up, you go through breakups, and that's what you think, like, because your brain's starting to change when you're younger, and you deal with, like, it's starting to mold.
Yeah.
Things dwell differently. They dwell for a lot longer. So, it's just always paying attention to your friends and that close network. Even if you think life is going great for them, even if they're working really hard, make sure you still find out that they're doing okay, because behind closed doors, you don't know what's going on. And it's not just saying like, hey, like, this is what I fucking hate about, I guess, what is it? The mentality of strong man is that working construction, a lot of dudes take the piss out of "Are you okay" day.
Yeah,
and
right.
I hate this, because when I go to work, sometimes it'd be like someone, not someone who I work with directly.
Yeah.
But I hear them and they're just like, "Oh, are you okay, mate? Like, are you okay?" I meant to ask if you're okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're probably asking someone, you're probably taking the piss out of someone who actually isn't right now.
Yeah.
And I have seen it.
And what's interesting is the person taking the piss might actually be deflecting
what their problem is as well.
Yeah, they're not ready to have a conversation like that. They're not secure enough in themselves, so they're kind of, "Oh, you okay?" You know, just trying to make a joke out of it.
So I think we're at that change now, with a lot of changes in the world, that when people ask this question now, I think it's more than 50% will actually answer it the real way.
Yeah, and be honest about it.
And that's great. I love that people be more honest about it, and they're being more open about it, and then we're taking the next step. But you have to, I guess, don't blurt out to everyone. What I don't really agree with is when people, I've been guilty of this in the past, where I went on social media and just talk like a dickhead about all my problems. Definitely, it's not. I don't recommend that. It doesn't help anything. All you become is just someone's, how would I say, someone's entertainment, really.
Yeah, either that, or you start to repulse the people that could actually help you, because you're just focusing on the negative all the time, and you're pushing all your bullshit instead of dealing with it. You're just going, look at all this stuff. And I was like that, honestly. Like, if I look at my Facebook memories and I go back to 10 years ago, I want to build a time machine just to go back and beat the shit out of myself. I'm so thankful that people who knew me back then, like yourself, Greg, all the friends that I have, still like me. Because I don't like me from back then, you know? That's not the person I want to be at all. And I think that's a massively important thing, is like realize when you're being that person. And again, it's okay to have these feelings, but you've got to be adult about it, and you've got to want to be better, you know? And it's not an overnight transition of just being magically this happy person. It's a day by day grind.
Yeah.
And there's little things that you can do to give yourself a fighting chance, you know? And like, while a lot of people do require medication and antidepressants, I'm not that big on them, but some people do require that. But physical activity, social interaction, good food, good, like organic food, you know, getting sugar out of your diet, getting crap out of your diet. These things give you that fighting chance to be better one day.
Yep.
You know, and talking, honestly talking, not getting on your Facebook and being like, how crap is all this? And you know, my ex is a dog, and, you know, feel sorry for me, all that sort of stuff. Like, that's not the venue for it, you know? And like you said, particularly working in those industries where, you know, you got to be a blokey bloke. Yeah. What's interesting is that mining, which is the industry I work in, men experiencing depression is so big. You know, it's very easy working those kind of rosters for relationships to fall apart, you know, custody battles, etc., etc. And these are all really difficult things to deal with. And then there's been pages that have come up, such as, I won't mention them, but different Facebook pages that people can get on, and they start to do that kind of thing of like, oh, the missus is doing this and I never see my kids, and and it's not a healthy way of dealing with it, because then you just get stuck in this echo chamber of all these other guys going, mine's doing the same thing, instead of going, what can I actually do constructively to improve myself, to improve that situation, etc., etc. And in those instances, a lot of the answer is, you know, between workmates. You know, say you go, no, I'm no good, I'm not having a good day. And I go, oh, well, you know, I'll buy you a beer and we'll talk about it. You know, it has to be blokey like that. But for someone suffering depression, alcohol is a depressant.
Yes.
You know, and it's a bit rough. We're sitting here drinking beers while I'm about to say, don't use alcohol to fuel that talk. Yeah. It's not helpful. And
these are light beers.
They are light
beers.
Very light beers. And we're in a lot better mental health than we used to be. And so you've got to break that blokey stigma of it. Like, we'll talk about it over beers, mate. You know, like, fuck the beers. Like, go for a walk, go for a hike, go for a surf, go fishing. Like, if you need some kind of other stimulus to have that conversation and make it easier on you, because these aren't easy conversations, and I understand that and appreciate it. But don't use something to medicate, to lubricate that conversation, you know? And going out and seeking sunshine and physical activity is just naturally going to make you feel better, you know? Melatonin, serotonin, dopamine, all these good things that your body's naturally going to produce. And endorphins, like, you will naturally feel better from just engaging in social activity in an outdoors setting where there's some physical exertion, and then you can have an honest conversation about your feelings as well.
So there's definitely tricks that when I've, like, I guess how many years ago when I went through my downturn was probably about 9 years ago now. It was, and the things, it took a few years of dealing with that, but then that's when I realized that I just started, when I met Tennille, best thing about meeting Tennille was that she let me do me.
Yes.
It's finding, not saying, like, because it's hard to talk, like, a lot of, you know, breakups is what causes this sort of stuff. But the thing is that your company, the people that are in your life, if they support you doing the things that you enjoy doing, they're the right people in your life.
Definitely.
If people try to stop you from doing what makes you you, to me, they're poison.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, it's hard when it's family. Like, I understand that. But yeah, when you can pick your friends.
Yeah, definitely.
So
And
pick good
especially if
friends.
they're trying to, convince you to be somebody you're not,
Yeah.
you know? And that's, like from the episode on being grateful is that's why I'm so close with you, with Ryan, with Alex, with Greg, is because you're all people who were with me through those really bad years, and you're still my friends, you know? That's why I don't have a massive circle of friends, but I've got a little group of people that are family, and that's because you guys did so much for me through that period. And even as shitty as I was and hard to deal with sometimes, you guys still loved me through all of that, you know? And you've stuck with me. And again, having a partner like Rani as well, loved me even at my worst, and has been one of the ones to help me and support me to be able to do all this work to now be better, you know? And I hope that I'm paying that back by being a good friend, a good partner.
100%, I think 110%. So yeah, it's having that, I guess, your people you surround yourself with play a huge impact on the way you live your life, I guess, and your mental health. So yeah, it could be, especially because if you are down in dumps, they're the people you want to be able to talk to, and they're not going to judge you. For example, when we've been down in the dumps, we speak about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, you don't just talk about it with anyone.
Yeah. And we're all products of our environments too. So if you're in a situation where whatever you're going through, you realize that the people around you are exacerbating that negative energy.
Yeah.
So for instance, like one of my friends is going through a separation at the moment, got a bit nasty at one stage. There's a child involved, all those kind of things. And working in an industry where divorce and custody battles is really, really prevalent.
Yeah.
So he's in an environment where all his workmates just kind of reinforce that thing of like, yeah, all women are crazy, and that it doesn't help because it's, whatever happens with this situation, it doesn't help him move on for the future and be better for his kid, better for whatever partner comes in the future, or being a co-parent with his current partner when things hopefully improve, and so it can be difficult, but if you can try and recognize the environment you're in, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, and going, none of this is helping me, particularly when there's alcoholism and drug use involved, and you can kind of go, none of these things are helping me get better.
So yeah, I think, if this is the first episode you're listening to, go back to the last episode, because I feel like these, they mean both a lot to each other. I think.
Yes.
And being grateful for a lot of things will help. It's the upper and the downer.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but it makes sense to do these episodes together.
Yeah. They definitely tie into each other. They're common themes, and these are all. And I can tell this from experience. I'm not a mental health expert, but I'm somebody who came from anxiety, depression, having a hard time coping with things. And it has been things like exercise regularly, good diet, if I'm not coping, cutting out bad things like alcohol, like weed, like sugar, whatever it might be, to give my brain the best chance to be naturally healthy. Good people around me, social interaction, setting goals, setting challenges, and lots of inner work. Introspection, and not to the point of just being like, recognizing like, oh, you acted like a dickhead, then you're a piece of shit, and all that sort of stuff. It's actually going like, well, how can I be the best me now?
Don't compare yourself to anyone.
Only compare yourself to who you were yesterday. That's all you got to do.
I agree.
The next day, be better than the person you were yesterday.
Oh, how good. Oh.
And that can be as simple as, yesterday I ate crap. Today I'm going to eat a little bit better. Or yesterday I didn't drink any water. Today I'm going to drink 2 liters of water. You're better than the person you were yesterday, and you've achieved a goal. It's step by step by step. You got to trudge through the mud some days, but it's all worth it. And I can attest to that. I'm happier than I've ever been. And I deal with things so much better these days.
It's hard to explain. I said this at I don't know if I brought it up in another podcast, but I don't know, because there's that many podcasts we do now. I said this to Rani at my birthday. I forget why. We were talking about something. And I was like, look, I'm actually happy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just genuinely happy right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to have, there's no problem in my life. Like, it's only a problem if I make it a problem.
Yeah.
But
But you sort of have the recognition that, like, if there is problems, I
how
can
to
deal
address
with
it.
anything.
Yeah, I will address
Like,
it
Yeah.
and sort it out from there. But it's, and I think it's just by guiding the people that I want in my life
Yes.
and get rid of the shit. The
Yeah.
things that weren't happening for me, I didn't want it. Things I do want, they're in my life.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It can be as simple as that.
But it takes time. It takes
It
a
does.
lot of time.
It definitely does.
That's-
It's
yeah,
it's
not an overnight
not
thing.
easy, but
Yeah.
you got to. And when you have those small wins, you got to celebrate them and pat yourself on the back and
Yeah.
be like, "I nailed that. Like,
Yeah.
I am better than the person I was yesterday, and I can be proud of that."
Yeah. I just want everyone to be stoked, really.
Yeah, definitely. I want everyone to feel how I feel now.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm studying what I am, and like why I try to talk on this podcast is because if I can just insert a little bit of that into somebody's life
Yeah.
and make it this much better,
Yeah.
you know, awesome, because I've put in a lot of work and I'm so happy these days. I just want people to feel the way that I feel now.
Mate, that's, I don't want to give myself a plug, but I'm going to. Mate, that's shredding life.
It's shredding life.
and that's where I subliminally wanted, I didn't mean it to happen, but people that do shred life are the ones that just are doing the things that they enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Whether it be four-wheel driving or playing guitar, playing golf, whatever that thing is that makes you in a positive way, that's what I love it.
Yep.
I love
And
it.
if anybody wants to rag on you about it, fuck them.
Oh, yeah, just whatever.
You do you, boo-boo.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, whatever makes you in a positive way, that's it. But the
100%.
reason why I say in a positive way is because if what makes you is a negative thing, I don't back it.
Yeah, no, if what makes you is being a racist Nazi piece of shit or something, you got to change that.
Yeah, you just
I don't support that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, there you
So
go.
yeah, within reason, as long as it's not hurting
Yeah,
anybody.
exactly.
But yeah, so I guess we should wrap up. There's a lot of amazing organizations out there, such as Beyond Blue, Lifeline, the Movember charity, that are all doing amazing things. So look, if you're somebody who has issues with this stuff, seek out the help.
Yeah.
And be part of breaking that stigma of, like, if you're having a hard time, like I saw a counselor earlier this year where I was really struggling with my emotional depth.
Yeah.
And yeah, so seek out the help,
And-
because it's there for you.
One thing that I guess came naturally to us is back in the band days, because we wrote a lot about mental health, we had a lot of people come to us to talk.
Yeah.
Like, we were just like, I don't understand, we're not doctors. But the thing is that we could relate.
Yes.
And even to this day, I still have had people come try and speak to me. Mm-hmm. Not try, they just, I guess, ask for some sort of guidance and help.
Yeah.
And all they needed at the end of the day was just someone just to talk to for a little bit.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I think be that legend today that has an open door to be able to talk to someone who needs help.
Yeah, be a sympathetic ear from somebody. And like I said, like, be ready to ask that question. It's like, do you need to vent to me?
Yeah.
Or do you need advice?
Yes.
Because it can be a very different situation for the person in need.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if they just need to vent and have their feelings acknowledged, and you're just coming at them with like, well, what you got to do is this,
Yeah.
they just feel attacked and overwhelmed and
Yeah.
not understood, So ask that question first and then deal with it as it comes. If you don't feel like you're qualified,
Yeah.
encourage your friend to go, hey, like I said, Beyond Blue is there. It's a free call. Have a chat to someone, or go see a GP, get a referral for a psychologist or a counselor, whatever it might be. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I literally did it this year. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Like, even healthy people should do this every once in a while. So on that note, I hope everyone's doing great. I hope you're okay. If not, talk to somebody. And
we're your mates. Remember that.
yeah,
We're all mates.
I reckon you fucking rule. So
Yeah, you're a bloody legend. Good on you. I tell you what, you're that good.
that's what we reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's what we reckon. So anyway, have a great week, year, guys. It's been tough, but you're doing great. You've got this far. You might as well kick it to the end.
Absolutely. Go out, kick life in the face.